Hey friends, what's up? It's your girl Karina. It's coffee time. Your girl needs it. As much as I love to share pieces that I am very inspired by, as important to talk about things that I am just not intrigued by. Also just to showcase that fashion is very expressive. All our personal preferences are going to be completely different. Doesn't mean that you wear these items, I think you're not cool, because at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you gotta do. You're gonna look good for you, boo, and that's all that matters. Let me share some micro trends that I am just not into in this fall, and let's get started. Ballerina Uggs. This is something that I didn't know was a thing until somehow it just landed on my For You page on TikTok. Uggs have been around for a while now, and I remember growing up as a teenager just wearing Uggs all the time with my leggings in the early 2000s up to the 2010s. The fact that there has been so much iteration of a boot that I feel like has already so much nostalgia value is a little strange for me. I mean, we saw the short platform Uggs that really went viral with believe Bella Hadid, and now this kind of Mary Jane style ballerina Ugg. I feel like sometimes companies forget the plot to stay with what has been successful. I don't think you need to be iterating different styles all the time. I know that these shoes usually are worn to keep you warm. I could use some Uggs right now in this goddamn room because it is cold as F, okay? Uggs has always been like a slipper. Even though they're warm, you can't really go and wear them out in the snow or if it's raining. Sometimes these don't have grip, so you can easily slip. People who love Uggs are just gonna stick to buying those specific styles, and I think it's just Ugg trying to throw stuff at the wall and seeing different silhouettes of shoes being popular, and it's y'all, come on. You don't need to do that. Anyways, I was never able to afford real Uggs, so I always had the bare claws. Let's talk about the long baguette bags, the ones with a longer strap. This is a bag that I feel I personally have seen so many people wearing, especially here in Paris. I personally love a statement bag. I love the idea of having something quirky or something like that. I teeter-totter with the way I use bags. Full on, I need a huge bag. I'm putting my laptop in. I'm going grabbing some stuff at the grocery store, or I need a little tiny bag because I'm just putting my phone and my wallet and lipstick. This size in particular is so in between for me, as useful for everyday use. I think it's really just trendy because of the shape, and there's also been so many different cool brands making their kind of version of it. This specific bag, I can't think of it in the top of my head, but essentially they made it a compartment bag. It looks kind of like it was made for a camera bag so that you can put your DSLR camera in there, but people have been putting their coffees in there. There is a sociology of gender that I took in at UCLA, and we talked about just fashion in women's and garments, and how obviously women's pockets are so completely different than men's pockets because they also want to incentivize that we buy bags. This bag is really cool. Again, I love baguettes. I mean, is that a surprise? No. I always say if you're really interested in the silhouette of a bag like this, always check Depop, Poshmark, Vinted, eBay, because these styles of bags have been around for a very long time, and usually when it's something like that, when you find secondhand, the quality ends up being better. So this is another micro trend that I have been seeing a lot, and this is obviously very catered to fall and winter. This cape style jacket, I actually come across a couple people wearing this recently. Maybe I just do not know how to dress for fall because I am from Southern California. Now I'm in a place where it's very autumnal, it's very cold, especially with no heater in this place. This jacket just doesn't seem warm enough to do that, but you definitely need to layer because most of these jackets cut off at 3/4 of a sleeve, and y'all know how I hate those. This is something that it's a piece that you have to work with. It always seems very wider at the end, and for me with a jacket, don't get me wrong, I love a shapeless vibe. I think as I've gotten older and just how I like to dress, and I think a lot of you notice this if you follow me, just I like a little fitted. I like a little booby action. I'm really dressed into my Venus sign. This is not my vibe. It's a little cutesy. It's very 60s. Sometimes when you start mixing all these silhouettes together, it can be complicated. I think a cape or a poncho is completely different than when you start making it a cape jacket with buttons and all these things. Y'all know I am someone who's experimenting with prints, and I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what kind of prints I like. But don't get me wrong, I do love an animal print. Fawn print is not one of them. First of all, I don't really think I see a lot of pieces in this style print, but I've been seeing it a lot, especially on social media, of course. That's the only place. It's just a print that just doesn't speak to me. I think there's prints that for you automatically feel like, yes, this is a vibe, and I rather stick to the zebra and the cheetah print. Like, something about this like specific print, especially the way that I've seen people style it, or even how this specific material has been like marketed, it just seems very cutesy and dainty. I literally think of Bambi every time I see this print. Not really my vibe, and I don't really know what other things to say. It's not a print that I go for. Continuing to talk about prints, let's talk about arygale. Arygale is so synonymous with the fall. It's the same thing with plaid, right? Like, it's kind of expected to somehow show up every season. Something that I really liked last year, or was it 2 years ago, was Loewe's and Jonathan Anderson's sweaters that they released. I think it was for fall of 2025 or fall of 2024. I'm not sure. Josh O'Connor in this arygale sweater. I even think Daniel Craig was wearing it as well. I think that looks amazing on them. But every time I try to put on arygale print on myself, I don't know, something about the geometric shapes, I just don't feel like it works on me. Arygale has always been a really interesting print because there's so many different like iterations of it, different color patterns and shapes. I also like when they do like contrasting stitching. I recently saw on, of course, where else am I gonna see this stuff besides TikTok? Because honestly, Instagram has been a little weird, and I feel like I have been kicking it more on TikTok. This sweater went so viral at H&M, and again, I think it's because it is in a very neutral colorway and it looks so cozy. It's a mock neck. But the thing is, a lot of the times with these type of sweaters, I feel like the composition needs to be really nice. Even on the H&M website, it says that it has to be dry clean only. The way the quality of these pieces are made, they're like not made to last. So then it'll be like, it won't hold its shape, it'll start peeling. The times, especially with arygale sweaters, I feel like you need to go and find these secondhand. You need to really think about the material that they're in. And so oftentimes they are made with wool. A lot of times there are so many pieces out there that are made in these delicate materials. I just don't think most people are aware of how to take care of these pieces, and I'm for sure someone that had no knowledge really, and I'm at a point where I'm really putting quality material pieces over quantity, of course. So I'm educating myself on how to take care of these pieces, and also had to find like a dry cleaner or a cobbler that I really enjoy, because if I love these pieces and I want to keep them in my closet, I need to maintain the quality of it. Okay, this one's super random and I don't even know where I found this, but I think it's more of like a high fashion luxury like trend. This is like faux fur shoes that are almost looking like a heel. I don't even know what to say, because to me I get having like a fun statement shoe, but this is, I guess, a little too avant-garde for me. For me personally, when it comes to leather, suede, or fur, which I don't even think I own anything fur, to be honest, prefer to get these secondhand. I just don't love how faux fur looks or anything faux leather. Like, it's just, to me, it's plastic. Getting things that are polyester can be beneficial depending on your lifestyle and all that stuff too, but I'm someone who's just trying to consume that less. I think it looks odd. That's all. It just looks odd. Again, for some reason I have a lot of jackets. It's because I think I'm seeing a lot of people wearing their little crop jackets, zipped up to the top, button up to the top, or the funnel neck jackets a lot. Is more specific, and then it's the drop waist / peplum jackets. I like having a variety of different style of jackets. I've actually been really into jacket that you can wear like a top. Yes, you can call that crop, but I don't call it crop. It's more reminiscent of like an 80s style cropped jacket. Again, fashion's always cyclical. Sometimes, you know, when you wear like these oversized jackets, especially in the fall, because you're layering so much, that you can tend to lose like your silhouette of your body, I guess, if that's something you want to do. I'm assuming this is why this kind of style jacket exists. You really wanted to create that cinching effect, peplum waist. Just think about something that is very, I guess, like I see a lot of it more in like high fashion and a lot of brands kind of duping. It just seems very like micro trend for me. I'm a big fan of stripes. But these rugby style tops are not it for me. I have been seeing a lot of people style these pieces, but I feel like there's only one particular style that I've been seeing this form. It's just not my vibe. It's just too preppy for me. It seems also very athleisure, and I'm someone who doesn't really dress that way particularly. And I just realized, as much as I want to be a polo girl, it doesn't happen. I mean, would you consider this collar a polo? And I also think most of these like rugby style tops, they just kind of look cheap to me. I'm all for like a Ralph Lauren style. I feel like especially in the 90s, they had a really cool like catalog of like this preppy with stripes. Sometimes we should just stick to what has already been popping back then. Okay, this one's very specific, but it is this dark Marten like slouchy boot. I wanted to talk about these because I actually saw these at the Doc Marten store that I was passing by here in Paris, and I was so tempted to go in and try them on, but just looking at them at the window and then I saw the calf size, I was like, girl, not in these 17s. Even though I think it's supposed to be that it's a little bit more wider, that still look like it's maybe like a 15. I used to dance, so these calves they're pretty thick. I love a leather platform boot, like especially very 90s. What's interesting, because I have bigger calves in general, a lot of like the shoes end up looking slouchy on me anyways, because they just don't fit on my calf, and sometimes I have to roll them down, put the zipper up, and then I try to pull it up, and it just like, obviously my calves are so big, and then obviously they get smaller. They're not like sticking to the other part of my leg, so it just looks a little bit off. So I naturally get the slouchy boot look. I can vouch for Doc Martens. I have a couple pairs. I have a Jaden. I have like these Oxford ones, which I'm obsessed with those. Actually, when I was here in France last fall, yeah, I found these like sick knee-high material style like combat boots that lace up all the way to the top. Obsessed with those. And actually, I think they just re-released those styles recently. Again, I could talk about the quality and Doc Martens really being really nice. Once you break them in, they are comfortable. And that's why for me, even though these are so beautiful up my alley, like Karina in 2015 would be wearing these like every fucking day at UCLA. And I think I have other boots that are really give this effect already. That is all the micro trends that I am just not buying or I'm passing on. And I've slowly just started creating lists on my notes app of things that I'm not interested in, as well as having like a wish list piece. And I like to go back and forth and look at them directly and see like, hey, sometimes they interchange. Let me know some of the trends that you're passing on, or do you agree on some of these? I want to know. Y'all know I'm a nosy ass hoe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on today's video. And yeah, I just really was in the vibe, like talking shit. I will see you soon with a new video. I think my next video will be an outfits video or a vlog. I've been having a very bittersweet time here in France, and I think it's like that most of the time every time I come, because I love the city and there's so many cool opportunities here, but at the same time, like I miss my partner and I miss my pets. So it's hard for me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do, okay? Give the video a like, give it a share, leave the comments down below. YouTube be like, this video is popping, let's push it out. And I've been trying to get to that 100K, y'all. That is my literally goal, and it's been years. Please help your girl accomplish this one goal in her life. Like, I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon with a new video. Au revoir.